Hey, just got your Viso II from Larsen Brusgaard and wondering how to make it work? Here's a tutorial video explaining to you how to set your digital altimeter. Hey there, this is Catherine Bernier from Skydive Vibes, sharing the passion of skydiving and helping you become a better skydiver. So if you're new here and if you are a skydiver looking to become one or just curious about skydiving, consider subscribing not to miss our weekly videos all about gear reviews, interviews, and skydiving stuff. Not long ago, I did a review video about the Viso II from Larsen Brusgaard. You can watch it right here. Now I wanted to spend some time and do a how-to video because when you first start with the Viso II, navigating through the menus and using only those 3 buttons can be a little bit confusing. So I wanted to make that clearer for any new user of the Viso II. And in fact, to help us, Larsen Brusgaard did a pretty good job in designing a roadmap. This roadmap is explaining to us the procedure and the button sequence we need to do to navigate through the menus. By using that map, things are becoming way easier and even becomes a second nature to be able to set up your Viso, but also to navigate and get all the data you need from it. Before we start, check out in the description below because I did put the link of the roadmap that Larsen Brusgaard did for their Viso II, but also you'll find some time codes directing you directly to the part of the video where I'm setting a specific function. That way you don't have to watch through all the video if you just want to know, I don't know, how to open the light on your Viso II, for example. All right, so let's experience that map together and set up our Viso II.
All right, so the first thing we want to do is to open our Viso. So for that, what I need to do is press the middle button here, press and hold until it beeps. We see the parameters and then it's open. If you want to lit the black light, what we need to do is to press the up arrows for 2 seconds, press and hold. And then it says backlight on, and the light is now on. It's pretty clear here, but it's made for night jumps. So at night, you would better see the screen being lit. And to close it, to turn it off, we simply press the up arrow again for 2 seconds. And then we see backlight off. So to get to the daily jump counter telling you how many jumps you did on which day, we need to press the middle button here. And then with the arrows, we can change the dates to see how many jumps we did on those dates. So now let's set the time, the date, and the units you want your Viso to be at. This part is a little bit trickier. So what we want to do is press the middle button here, and we will see a lock appear on the screen here. So what we want to do is press once, then release, then wait for the second lock to appear, then press and hold until the third ones appear. So let's do it. Press, wait for the second, press and hold, and release when we see the third one. So, and then at that point, I want to press and hold that middle button again for 5 seconds. All right, so now I can see that I can set the altimeter or the speed meter. So those are 2 options for the Viso II. So I can set one of them. Let's set it in altimeter. Then when you press again on the middle key, you get access to the feet or meters units. So you can set that with the arrows as well. When you press again, you get into the speed units. So miles per hour or kilometer per hour. Again, with the arrows, you can change them. Now, if we click again, we are at the altitude offset. So this is when you know your drop zone is not at a 0 altitude, you need to set it up right there. If you press again, you enter into the dive type setting. So this setting is to set your fall rate. So depending on the mode you're selecting, so there's 3 different ones. There's the student mode, then the slow mode, and the first one, which is the standard, is the dive mode. The next setting that we have access to is the airspeed. So there's two ways for the Viso to calculate the airspeed. There's one that was created by Larsen Brusgaard, and the other one is the true way, as they call it. So let's just keep it as default at the true way. Again, if you want more info, just check out in the Viso manual. Now we dive into the date, so that's the year. You can set up with the arrows. Then you have the date, and next thing you see is the hour, the time. So I'm going to set mine because it's a little bit off. You can press and hold, 37. It's good. Then by pressing again, this is when you can preset the jump counter. So when you receive your Viso, you're most likely to have a couple of jumps done already. So you want to set the number you're at. The next thing is to reset the jump counter. So we won't do that. And now the next screen is when you want to turn it off. So to do that, we need to press and hold those two arrows at the same time and wait for the number of seconds it tells you. Then release, and your Viso is off. So this is in brief how you want to set up your Viso II whenever you receive it. So that being said, let's check out how to get into the logbook informations. So first I need to open up, so press and hold the middle key. See the parameters, and then we're ready. So again, I want to do the same thing I did for the middle button, but for the down arrow to get into the menu of the logbook. So press and hold, and release at the oops, I missed it. So again, press and wait for a second, press and hold, then release at the third. So now this is where I see the jump number I did on which date. So my 163rd jump was made on May 27th at 10:19. So you get the date and hour that that jump was made. Then if you press again, you get into the exit altitude. So again, you can get the exit altitude of each of those jumps by looking with the arrows. Then if you press again, you get into the deployment altitude. So that's the little sign we see there. So that's valuable information that you can get for each of your jumps. If we press again, we now get the freefall time. So that information is pretty valuable whenever you want to get your ratings. So you need to track those numbers. It's not really accurate, but it does the job. The next thing is the max freefall speed. So again, depending on the type of dive you've set up and the way to calculate the airspeed. Now we get into the max canopy speed, which is under canopy, what was your max speed. So as you can see, there's a lot of information in the logbook menu of the Viso II. So it's way more than just an altimeter. Finally, if you don't touch anything for a moment, you will see the Viso going back to the main screen, which is ready, the one ready to jump. Keep in mind that whenever you get into the plane and start your plane ride, you might get a delay on the display, but then you see the Viso going into jump mode where we won't see all the writings above and under, just so you don't get distracted by all those writings and only get the altitude numbers.
All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video about how to set up your Viso and navigate through the menus. If you want to check out the video I did when I reviewed the Viso II Plus from Larsen and Brusgaard, you can click here. And this is a video where I went over the features and the pros and cons of the Viso II. Make sure to check out the links in the description below where you'll find the links to the roadmap, but also the Viso II manual. Keep in mind that you will get it whenever you purchase your Viso II, so you get the roadmap and the manual in your kit. But if in any ways you did lost it, remember that all the links are below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with other fellow skydivers who would see value in understanding how to navigate through the menus and how to use their Viso, because there's a lot of information in there and most of us are not fully exploiting the logbook features and stuff like that. So make sure to share it with your friends. Finally, consider subscribing not to miss other videos just like this one where we review skydiving gear. On that, I tell you, keep jumping and blue skies.